Hi, Pokemon trainers. I'm Kitten.
And I am Knuckles, and I am not on location, and we are trying to do this remotely. So bear with us as we may be touch and go on a few things here and there.
And this is the Pokemon Refuge Live.
Yep, live at the Pokemon Refuge.
So, I'm going to go over my week's overview real quick. And this week was the Sinnoh event. So, I was trying to hatch eggs like crazy. And I hatched 54 eggs. And I didn't hatch anything really good. That's my little. I don't know if you can see her. I see my
Umbreon in the background.
Umbreon in the background here.
Yeah.
Um, so I hatched nothing good. Well, I hatched two Gibbles, but they weren't shiny, so I didn't really want them. And then I found a Gibble in the wild, so that was cool. We left in the middle of the night to go get that one. Other than that, I hatched some Combees, Mantikes, Badoos, Bonslies. I hatched a Shinx from a 7K, so that's good that it was in a 7K and not a 10K. That was nice. And then I'm gonna say it bad, but I hatched like four. What is it? Rylus?
It's Riolu.
Riolu.
Yeah,
So
Riolus.
that was fun for me. But I wish I got a shiny. I have 9K, 7K eggs racked right now. So hopefully one of them will be some kind of nice shiny for me. What about you?
Okay, well, so for myself, I have not done hardly anything that you have done this week. Uh, I have only walked 20 kilometers and I have not hatched but six 7K eggs. And I have not hatched anything like a Gibble or a Riolu. I definitely haven't hatched anything shiny. In fact, a Combi is the best thing that I would say I've hatched this event so far. But that's my own fault. I haven't been super active. Of course, you know I've been very busy over the last day or two and haven't had a chance to participate as well as you. But that's okay.
So it's the end of the Sinnoh event is tomorrow, and so I just want to know if y'all have hatched anything good or got anything good from the Sinnoh event. There's going to be a poll in the comment section. If did you get anything good during the Sinnoh celebration?
Right.
So
So
I go ahead.
let's look at this real quick because there was a lot of things. I actually have caught several bronzors in the wild, uh, as well as the hippopotas are everywhere. So that's cool because I actually didn't have a good hippodon for PvP. So the hippopotamus being everywhere was very cool to me. This event graphic right here is via Orange Heart 2018. So dude gives us all the graphics, keep us up to date, so we can keep everybody else informed up to date. But I actually am happy with the spawns from this event, and you can see here that there's some good stuff in the eggs. Of course, the Riolu and the Gibbles are the big ones. But overall, I would say that the event itself has been fun. The things outside spawning are fun.
The
Uh,
event research is pretty good as well.
yeah, I agree with you. Can you tell us about the event research? Do you
Yeah,
have that hand?
I don't have a handy, but I
Okay. I have it handy.
okay.
So the event research was catch 5 Cricketot, and that would get you a Combi. Catch 5 Turtwig, Chimchar, or Piplup was 1,000 Stardust, which of course, anything that has a lot of Stardust, I'm all in on that. So use a Sinnoh Stone to evolve a Pokemon. Now, I actually, this was an odd, this is an odd research to me because using a Sinnoh Stone to evolve a Pokemon, I mean, I get that because this is a Sinnoh event, but honestly, most of the things that require a Sinnoh Stone to evolve are like Gen 1 things going into third evolutions like Electabuzz and Magmar and things like that. They need a Sinnoh Stone, and none of those are spawning. So that one felt kind of weird. But the reward for that one is really cool, and it's a Cranidos. So of course that's always awesome. I mean, unless you have 6 maxed out Cranidos, I think everybody could always use a Cranidos. So hatch 5 eggs with Sinnoh Stone so that you could actually do those evolutions to get those other rewards. And win a raid would get you the Hippopotamus, which of course had a shiny chance as of this event. So something happened there with the audio.
Sorry, yeah. I was trying to. People had commented.
Oh, okay. All right.
So the Sinnoh event ends tomorrow morning. I'm trying to hatch at least 9 more by then. So after this, I'm gonna try to get some eggs hatched. So then that was our Sinnoh event on our week's overview. Uh, but also some other stuff that happened in the past week was that the winner for the February Community Day was announced, and it was Rhyhorn. And so
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm
Go
really
ahead.
happy about that.
I was gonna say I'm extremely happy about that. Myself, I like Rhyhorn. Obviously, I'm a Gen Oneer. I like Rhyhorn, I like Rhydon. I like Rhyperior. I think that especially right now with the Rose Cup and Rhyperior being relevant to the Rose Cup, I think it was a cool thing to give everybody an opportunity to try to get a good PvP. Plus, Rhyperior is always good for PvE, and with the signature move, uh, the Rock Wrecker, it's just obviously just a great thing to be able to see that signature move in the game. So I was happy with Rhyhorn. Obviously, I know you weren't because you wanted Dratini
Dratini.
because Team Pink.
Team Pink. So I love Team Pink. So other things that happened during this past week was the first spotlight hour where they had a Pokemon that was boosted in the wild for an hour. And we think, and I don't know if it was confirmed, that the shiny version was also boosted during that hour.
Okay, so I think it was just because I saw several people in Discord and in the local groups posting 2 and 3 shinies, and in an hour long event, even with the fact that the shiny rate for Onix is already high, I still feel like it was very boosted. I only got to play for like that 15 minutes while I was out, and I caught a shiny, so I felt like the rate was boosted. I never did see anything official, but I did feel like that was a boosted rate event, and it was cool to see that. So,
So he obviously said that the Pokemon that was the spotlight for that night was the Onix, and I caught a bunch of Onix, but I did not get a shiny. Then the next thing that happened was the mystery bonus hour, and during the mystery bonus hour, there was 2 times catch and raid Stardust, which was super awesome for anyone who does PvP because you want all of it, all of the Stardust that you can get, and we were just catching like crazy during that time.
yeah, yeah, that absolutely is an event I can get behind anytime. Double Stardust is probably the best thing that we get because there's nothing you can do to gain more Stardust. Even buying star pieces, you can't individually buy star pieces. They're always in bundles in the boxes. They don't give double. They give 1.5 times. So on a double event, you get times 3 if you use the star piece. So Stardust is the sticking point for everybody. Everybody PvP is Stardust poor. Everybody who likes to do short man raids is Stardust poor. Everybody building those hundos is Stardust poor. So yeah, we love those. I thought that was a great event.
So hopefully they do another Stardust event if they do it again next week. I'm hoping that they're going to do it every week. That would be nice, but I don't know how they're going to do that. I guess we'll find out this week if they're going to do the same thing. A bunch of people keep commenting on the cat that's in the background walking around.
I
She's crazy.
like that.
Her name's Amelia, but we obviously should have named her Umbreon. Here's our other one. She's actually Eevee, the one walking by right now. So they're good little Pokemon critters. So the next thing I want to discuss that just started this past week was the February research breakthrough box, and it's Woobat. And I got my Woobat, and you get how many Stardust or how many candies do you get for?
Okay, so for the Woobat, you get 13 candies. So if you get it with a pineapple, That's 26 candies, which means that over the course of the 4 weeks, you can evolve 2 Woobats. You'll get just over 100 candies.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Is the Woobat anything to phone home about?
um, no, it's cute.
Yeah, I think it's cute too.
You know what I will say is I thought this was an interesting way to introduce a new Pokemon to us. This is a new Gen 5 Pokemon, and being introduced through a research box. Hey, not the worst way to introduce a Pokemon, so I
Yeah,
was okay with it.
I agree. So now that we have ended the breakdown of this past week, we're going to talk about some Go Battle League stuff. It's about to change from the Great League to Ultra League. So Knuckles, is that what we call you in here? Is going to
Sure.
be talking about that.
Okay, so yeah, absolutely, guys. Okay, so Go Battle League. I hope so far that everyone has really been enjoying the Great League stuff, and I've definitely been in there on the Great League. But we are coming to Ultra League, so tomorrow's the 10th, and at 3 p.m., I believe it's 3 p.m. local. Well, I think it's 3 p.m. my time. I think it's 1 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow is when it changes. Uh, but it will go to Ultra League, which will mean Pokemon 2500 CP and under only can be used to battle. And this meta is going to be a lot different. There's going to be a lot bigger things. There's going to be things like dragons. Giratina pretty much runs the show there. So this is definitely a different meta. And I'm excited for it, but I'm not because it's just another thing to dump dust into that isn't going to benefit me because any Great League Pokemon that I decide to build up, I would hope that at some point they'll become relevant for a Sylph Arena event uh, or a limited meta or something like that. But so Ultra is something different. But I am excited to see some of the Pokemon like Giratina and some of these other things get used, and I want to see how this meta evolves, and I'm just curious to see how it goes. So yeah, so tomorrow is the day GBL switches that. So Love, what do you think? Do you have any thoughts about this?
I'm not very excited about it because I don't have a lot of things with the third move that are 2500, close to 2500. I have obviously quite a few things that are the 1500 around 1500 range that have it, but I'm not going to bring um, those to that kind of battle.
Right.
Also, people were complaining about the walking that I have to do to get the register to like actually do the battle. You have to. It used to be 5K that you had to do, and now it's 3 kilometers. You have to walk 3 kilometers to be able to do the Go Battle League. And I heard that Niantic has their core values, and their core values are to promote exploration, exercise, and real world involvement. So they want us out there walking around, interacting with other people and other things, and getting exercise. So I can appreciate that because I know that you like that aspect of the game that you get to get out and get moving. And
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm a very big proponent of the fact that Pokemon Go requires you to take your butt outside and walk. And I like that because I can play any video game inside my house with or most of them have way better graphics than Pokemon Go. But I like the idea of going to the park and walking around. And maybe you'll see something outside that isn't a Pokemon. Maybe you'll actually see something outside that's cool too. Get out and get some fresh air, walk around. I am a huge fan of that. I believe in the exercise aspect of it and the adventure aspect and just exploration and get out and see something. So yes, I'm a huge fan of that. And I am glad that GBL is tied to that a little bit. And the reason for that is because I don't know. I mean, with Pokemon Go being so much about exercise, it would be pretty bad if the PvP aspect of it became all of the people who are really good at it are just people who sit at home and do it constantly. So I like the walking.
okay, so something that people have noticed while playing the Go Battle Leagues is I guess what it's called exploits, where people are using like three shields have been noticed,
Yeah.
and something where they turn it into like airplane mode, and they can basically win the match when they turn it into airplane mode. And we have noticed we've had people that we do Pokemon with that have had three shields used against them, and then I've experienced and have recorded the airplane mode because nothing I do is registering, and they're just getting a bunch of fast moves and charge moves on me. So I noticed that. Did you know? Have you gotten anything?
Yeah, well, I have noticed uh the lag happens and then the person comes back with the full charge move. The question is at this point, are people doing it maliciously or not? Because I've noticed where I feel like a couple times I've been on the flip side of it, and I kind of felt like my opponent wasn't moving necessarily, and maybe I was, and then I just kept continue to get to my charge move and then throw it off. So, the question becomes at this point: is it an exploit that people are exploiting, or is it simply just desync on the server and the clients? Is it malicious or is it just poorly designed and poorly executed on the IT side of things? So, I don't know. It's still up in the air with me, love.
So
I don't know.
I don't know what you said about the servers and clients and stuff like that, but
Right.
I got your overall meaning
Everything
behind
else.
that. Yeah. So do you have anything else you want to add about the Go Battle League?
Yes, I do actually. So, something I would like to give everybody just a quick idea into is Ultra League Pokemon that you want to try to use, in my opinion, right now, everyone coming into this, because here's the thing is you don't have to have a bunch of Ultra League Pokemon to be competitive here. You just need a good solid team of three that has a lot of coverage. Well, you can get a lot of those from Community Day Pokemon because any of the starter Pokemon, they're only 10,000 Stardust to add a third move. And really, at this level, that's what I've been looking for. I am looking for things that are cheap but effective for me to use in this Ultra VP. Because like you said, I don't have a bunch of dust. I don't have a bunch of candy to get a lot of things in there that some people may have. But I have a Swampert that's 2,500 that's in there can battle, and Hydro Cannon will whop anything. And the same thing with the Venusaur with Frenzy Plant, your Charizard with Blast Burn, any of the Community Day moves on the starters, those are my top tier, low cost, effective picks for anyone that's going to be doing these Ultra League battles coming up in the next couple weeks here on the Go Battle League side of things.
Okay, so I have a friend now. I feel like that one guy on Austin Powers with Mr. Bigglesworth. Um,
Oh.
so okay,
That's
I'm gonna
Dr. Evil.
yeah, Doctor Evil. Okay, so I am mad about Go Battle League because I keep trying to make like good Pokemon, and I had a big Meganium that I was gonna use, and
Right.
I used four charged TMs to try to get Frenzy Plant on my uh
Megani.
Pokemon, my
Yeah.
Meganium, and lo and behold, Frenzy Plant is a community day move. So no matter how many charged TMs I used, I wasn't gonna get Frenzy Plant. So that made me sad. So I would like
I
a
would just like to point out here that she did not ask me anything.
I didn't, but I
And
found
I
it out by
made
myself.
the infograph. So everyone that knows me knows that I love to post infographics about everything, and I am constantly in the Facebook groups. Which by the way, guys, if you're watching this, you can definitely join our Facebook group. It is on Facebook /groups/ Pokemon Refuge. It's linked on the page too below. So get in there, and I'm always posting infographics. Same thing with the Discord. I post a lot of infographics because I always feel like pictures are easier to look at than words. And a lot of times when I'm speaking, people aren't listening to what I'm saying anyway. But hey, man, there was a picture right there. I posted it. So
You and your infographics. Okay, before do you have anything else to add about Go Battle League before we
um,
go on?
well, no, no, not necessarily. Let's move on for just the sake of continuation on the show.
Okay, ready for it? My Pokemon joke of the week.
I am. I've got to get this when I get back in the next week or so. My thing is my internet here is being
All
slow.
right, let me build up to this. Okay, so ready?
Doom, doom, doom,
Why
doom, doom, doom.
did the whaler cross the ocean
Why?
to get to the other tide?
Ah.
Yeah,
Wah, wah, wah.
I thought it was funny. Okay, so
Super
my
good.
favorite part, we're going to be talking about what's coming up this next week, and it's Valentine's Day coming up. So
Valentine's.
there is
Pink
going to
squad.
be
Pink squad.
pink Pokemon in the wild. There's going to be pink Pokemon in raids and also in eggs. So I'm super excited about this. And it's going to be happening from February 14th to February 17th. And they're also using this event to introduce two new Pokemon. Do you want to say them so I don't?
Audino
And
and I'm gonna mess this one up. It's the Amola Mola Amo
Alamomola.
Alamomola
Alamomola.
Alamomola
Okay.
Alamomola. So
Okay.
Alamomola and Audino.
Yeah,
Audino.
Audino,
Yeah,
and
not
then
Duino. I was gonna say
Alamomola.
Duino.
Okay,
Audino and Alamomola.
those are going to be introduced during that event. So
And they are pink.
and if you see them, go get them because they are rare and you want them because
They
they're
are rare.
Team Pink.
Team
And
pink.
during this time, during the February 14th through February 17th, regular lure modules will last for 6 hours. So that's good.
That's a really long time. How long is that going to work? For 3 days?
Yeah, the 14th through the
The whole
17th.
event, 14th through the 17th. So really, I mean, in an area like ours where we have a pretty active community and people put a lot of lures up, I imagine that it wouldn't be hard to think that a place like downtown or the park, Elmer Thomas Park, will probably be lured the whole time. I mean, 6 hours. That's a really long time for a lure. So yeah, I guess that would be a good time to get out and get spawns. What's is the rewards for Stardust or catch
So
candy or
you're gonna
anything?
get yes, I was getting to that. Sorry. You're
Okay,
also
all right.
gonna get 2 times
You.
catch candy. So catch all the Pokemons, catch them all, because you want to get all these candies, especially from the rare Pokemon, pink Pokemons that are going to be spawning. And you will also maybe get the chance to get a shiny Happiny or a shiny Chansey in the wild, and that's super exciting. And
That is though. That is super exciting.
yeah, I
Shiny
agree.
Chansey is super exciting.
So hopefully I get one or you get one, so I get one.
Yeah, yeah. Anything Team Pink is mine is automatically yours.
Yes. Okay, so then another thing happening this coming week on February 15th from 2 to 5, which I'm sad because I'm going to be in a workshop for school. So, for the most part of it, so I only get the back end of that. But they're going to be Lickitung and 4-star raids, so you'll get your guaranteed charge TM from that doing that raid. Plus, we get 5 free additional raid passes, and you don't get to collect them. You get one, then you use it, and when you spin it again, you'll get another raid pass. So you can't just collect them and try to do a different raid. You have to use it, and then you'll get another one.
That's right. I have heard some people that are really curious about why this Lickitung event. And I think that it ties in with the Sylph League Rose Cup because this Lickitung is going to have Body Slam, which is a super effective PvP move. And I haven't looked yet, but if I had to guess, I would bet Lickitung maxes out right around 1500. And Lickitung happens to be pink. And I imagine that Lickitung with Body Slam probably raises his rating on PV Poke. I haven't looked yet, but I just think that this is a straight tie-in for this month's Sylph Cup, and so I think this is a cool raid for me. A lot of people PVEers, your raid folks, they're not gonna get a lot out of this. But hey, there is the shiny chance, so there's always that. Anytime there's a shiny chance in the raid, that makes me way more likely to do it than if there's not. Case in point, What's the raid boss right now? Tornadus.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, Tornadus is the raid boss right now, and I only have one, and I probably won't do any more. But Heatran, even though I didn't need a Heatran either, just because it doesn't make much difference, I did a lot more raids because there's shiny chances, and just the chance of getting a shiny one. I actually did get 2 shinies of the Heatran, and I traded one fairly quickly. What did I trade it for? I traded it for something shiny. I can't remember now. But I did a lucky trade with it, a shiny lucky trade with Jetsy Mac. Actually, shout out to Jetsy. So the shiny chances are going to make a difference there. And the 5 raid passes, I imagine some people will take them and still do maybe Timber raids or Roggenrelia. I think Roggenrelia is in raids now after the Sinnoh event is over. So some people will take those 5 free raid passes and do lower level raids. But I do think a lot of the PvP people are going to get in there and try to get the lick of tongues, and a lot of your people chasing shinies are going to get in there and get the lick of tongues. So interesting raid setup, in my opinion. I like when Niantic does things that are a little bit different than the norm. So I like this. I like the lick of tongue setup.
Yeah, I feel like I'm thankful for Niantic. They are doing a lot. They're making sure that we always have some kind of event going on. I feel like, and they do a good job of introducing new Pokemon when you get bored of the old ones, and introducing new shinies at a reasonable rate. And
Yeah, okay. So the one argument that I have with that is, to me, shinies aren't content because that's just a skin. It's just a skin. I mean, it still gives you the good feeling of, ooh, I caught a shiny. But in reality, that yellow Riolu and that blue Riolu, they play exactly the same. So it's just a skin. So to me, that's not new content. Now, I mean, obviously, I would like to say that over the last year, Niantic has introduced a ton of new content. Uh, Rocket Stops, Go Battle League. I mean, there's a lot of new content. There have been a lot of new things. The Buddy Sync, the Buddy Adventure, the new shared AR experience. I mean, there's been a ton of stuff. But Niantic, I don't think you're probably not listening to us yet. I doubt that our podcast or our show's big enough yet to attract your attention. But if you are listening, here's what I would like to see. I would like to see you this summer work on fixing things. I don't really need new content, but I need gyms not to vanish, and I need PvP to be cleaned up, and I need switches to work better.
hashtag
Uh,
make PvP a esport.
yeah, I mean, that's our goal here. Hashtag make PvP an esport, and here at the Pokemon Refuge, that's what we want to see because that's what we love is Pokemon battling. And I just want to see a lot of this cleaned up before more things are dumped on top of it. I'd love to see them clean up some code. There's going to be a lot of live events, of course, with the upcoming Safari Zones and Go Fest and all of that. But I think right now, as far as content, as far as uh, new mechanisms in the game, I feel like there's plenty for the time being, and I feel like they just need to polish what we've got, and I feel like we would be better served by getting some of that in there. So, just my 2 cents on that.
Okay, so I had forgot to change it over to your face at first, and when you said that you didn't think shiny was like good content or something like that,
Uh
my face was like it was like, what are you talking about? Because
huh.
I like my shiny. So
I, I
I was
I know, but I mean, but it is a skin, and because we've played PUBG as well, and we've spent money on that game, and we are not free to play players of Pokemon. We do spend money on Pokemon Go. Me and Kitten both spend money on Pokemon Go, and that's not we don't spend a lot, but we do spend $20 here and there whenever there's an event and we want some incubators, or if we need raid passes or whatever it is, we see it as it's our hobby, so we don't mind spending money on it. But with that being said, buying skins, only go so far. With PUBG, we only spend so much money because once you have 3 or 4 different skins for your M16 or your M4, you don't need anymore. And so shinies are kind of the same way. Like, it's cool. Shiny Riolu is cool. Shiny Hippopotas, that's cool. But is that new content, or is that just is that another reason to keep us hatching eggs and buying loot boxes, if you will? So
So I
that's
read
the art.
something that was saying that people are spending upwards of like $500 to $1,000 during events like these to try to get the shiny Riolu
Let me find the chances.
and
Go ahead,
the
keep
and the
talking. Sorry.
shiny hippopotamus. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine spending $500 or $1,000 on this game to try to get a shiny. I mean, I like getting a shiny, and if I happen to get it on my like just normal everyday egg hatching, but I'm not. I just don't know like how much are y'all walking to get
Okay,
this
so
business?
check this out. So here's the I want to do the shiny cost analysis. I saw this on Reddit. So I'm always on Reddit, huge in the Silk Road. So Reddit user Robbie Aquinas, maybe Aquinas, Robbie Aquinas, shared an approximate shiny cost analysis for the shiny Riolu. So he did the math. So I'm going to read this math to you. So the hatch rate of the Riolu during this, let's assume 1 in 14, because there's 14 different Pokemon in the 7K eggs. So the shiny rate, let's assume the low end of 1 in 50. And then the 1 in 700 overall odds. So let's look at it like this. If you buy Pokecoins at the highest end, that's 14,500 Pokecoins for $99.99. So $100 get you 14,500 Pokecoins. And you can get incubators. He even did this off the historically low cost of 74 coins in incubator during the 2019 Adventure Week. So the cost of getting a shiny Ralu to 95% chances, which is buying enough incubators and hatching enough eggs at 1 in 14 times 1 out of 50 times 1 out of 700 odds, is $357.21. And that's kind of ridiculous if you think about
Can you do like a face?
it. I mean, I don't really have a face to make to that. I feel like that's kind of ridiculous. But at the same time, I understand super rare Pokemon in the game are rare. I just wonder sometimes is Niantic artificially making things rare? And then something like Scraggy is kind of hidden behind a paywall, if you will. Well, I guess not really. I mean, you can get to. I think everyone should be able to get to level 4 on GBL and get their Scraggy. Now Pikachu Libre, how high is he going to be? I don't know. Is he going to be hidden behind some things? I mean, raids are basically a paywall. So, I mean, all of this stuff is
It's not. They want to say it's not pay to play, but you can only play so much without paying to play.
sure,
So,
sure,
I
it
mean,
is. You
it's
can only
still an
get so far.
option there for the people who don't have the money to buy anything extra. You can still do some of the stuff. You can do one raid a day. You can do depending on how much you walk, you can do the Go Battle League, but you can't do the what's the second one for the Go Battle League? The pass
Premium,
one. Yeah, the
yeah.
premium pass.
So, okay, so let's talk about something right there. This is something that I would like to touch on. So, something that irritates me, and I wish they would fix it, just because to give everyone more interaction, not even for myself, is I think that if since they made premium raid passes are now considered premium battle passes, I think that regular raid passes should become regular battle passes. And every single day, everyone should get a free upgrade on their GBL if they want. So you get that one free pass, and you can either do a raid or you could do a GBL premium set of 5. And I think that wouldn't hurt Niantic at all because, dude, there's so many days I don't use my free raid pass just because I just don't, just because I didn't get a chance to raid, or if there was no level ones around and I was by myself, or there was nothing I could get to by myself. I wasn't with you to where I could get a tier 3 or 4 together, 5 together. Then I may not use that pass. But if I use it for premium rewards for a GBL, would that really hurt Niantic's pocket? I don't think so. But I do think it would give people another opportunity to use a free aspect of the game. Like I always see people complaining about why don't we get 50 coins a day for every day that our Pokemon is in the gym? And I get that. it sounds good, but that would kill the economy that Niantic has built, and I understand that
Isn't
because
that how it was when it first started?
oh well, but it wasn't coins. Remember? Yeah, I mean it was different, and then there was the prestige system, and then there was just a lot of different mechanics back then. But I totally understand why they'll only give us 50 coins a day because if someone left had a Pokemon in a gym for 300 days and they get 50 coins for that, that's 15,000 coins. I mean
Heck
that's
yeah.
that's a ton of coins we're talking. So, and that's one Pokemon. So what if you did that with 20 Pokemon or however, whatever the max is you're allowed to put in gyms? So I get it. It would just break the economy and they would never make money. So I understand, and I understand that it takes money for development and these servers aren't free. And, I understand all of that aspect. I sometimes wonder, especially with something like the shiny Riolu, the chances of it is so slim to none, but everyone wants one. So you're really drawing in people to buy these incubators to hatch these eggs on a hope, a slim hope they're going to get that shiny Riolu.
Okay, so I think that's good on Go Battle League. I'm not doing very well. I've lost a lot of matches. I think you're doing very well, but um, I'm looking forward to slash not looking forward to Ultra League. So we'll see how that goes. And that starts this week too. So that's our upcoming week. Do you have any goals that you want to achieve this week with Pokemon Go?
Yes. Okay. So, yeah. So let's talk about our upcoming week. So obviously we're coming into the pink week is coming up on Friday. And Rose Cup events are running strong right now. So let's touch on the Silph Arena a little bit. I'll be competing in a couple Rose Cup events this week, and we will be hosting our own Rose Cup event towards the end of the month. So the Silph Arena Rose Cup, for anyone who wasn't paying attention before, or I guess actually I haven't mentioned it this episode, the Rose Cup is this month's Silph Arena Cup event, and it consists of Pokemon that are pink, purple, red, or gray. And there's a full list on sylph.gg. But the pink event ties in with that. And so I actually am going to try to focus this next week on cleaning up my six for the Rose Cup. That's going to be something because I still, I'm going to try to do one of the tournaments tomorrow, love, and I still have like 8 Pokemon that maybe 9 or 10 that I could choose from because I just don't know my team of six. I do know the 3 that I want to run. It's the same 3 that you run.
Because you stole my team.
Yeah, because I stole your team because it's very effective in this cup. But I want to settle onto a 6. I think that's going to be a goal. My goal for GBL is I just got the third move on my 0-15-15 Mel medal for Great League. And now I'm taking my old Mel medal that didn't have as great IVs that was my Great League, and I'm taking it up to 2,500 so that it can be my Ultra League Mel medal for GBL because Mel medal is very effective in GBL, and it has been my secret weapon. So anyone who has a Switch or definitely strongly suggest Melmetal. So that is the other. That's going to be a little expensive this week. So Stardust going to building up my
What's your
Melmetal.
Stardust goal?
I don't have a goal. I want to get my Melmetal to 2,500, and I also have a lucky Lucario that I need to get up to 2,500 because I plan on using it for Great League. So those are my goal, or for Ultra League. So those are my goals for this week is to get the Lucario to 2,500 and to. I'm sorry, I have one more too. I also have a Togekiss, a lucky Togekiss that I want to get up to 2,500 to try to use. So, and that'll probably be my team right there. Interestingly enough.
Okay, so my goals for the week are I obviously want to catch shinies, but I can't guarantee that, so we're not gonna make that a goal, but a hope. And
That's a
so
hope.
yeah. And so my goals are I wanna get 100,000 Stardust. I wanna walk the 50 kilometers for the week. I wanna do all 5 of the Lickitung raids. Trying to think. I had
Those are good
at
goals.
what?
Those are good goals.
Yeah, and I want to get another Pokemon for my Ultra League. I have three that I'm working with, I think, maybe four, but I want to add another one. And then uh, probably increase my Pokemon storage one or two times because when we first started a few months back, again, we started in what's 2015 when it started, and then we took a break after the first couple months because there was nothing
That's
happening really. We just
2016.
had
20,
Pidgeys and Rattatas, and I was tired of Pidgeys and Rattatas, so we quit. And then one of our friends said that there was a lot going on, so we started again, and they just keep adding stuff and introducing new things, and it's really exciting, and it keeps our family active, and we really like it. And so, where was I going with that? I don't know.
you
Anyway,
need more Pokemon storage?
yes, Pokemon storage because when we first started again, I had like I could hold 250, I think, but I only
Well,
had
you
nine.
don't even, yeah, but you throw everything away.
No,
Like you're not
I'm
like
doing way
me. I
better.
have a ton of storage.
Yeah, okay, I can hold 800, I think, and when we first started back again, I could only hold 250, and I had 98 Pokemon, and now I have 715 or 730, something like that. But I keep increasing. He has like 3,000 Pokemon. I don't know.
No, well, I don't have that many. I have like 15, 1600 or something like that. But I will increase a lot before we do Safari Zone St. Louis
Hmm.
next month. I'll definitely increase my item storage and my Pokemon storage before we do that. So let's talk about catch of the week. Do you have a catch of the week?
I did not have a catch of the week. I guess I did. We went out at 1 in the morning 2 nights ago to catch a
Yes.
Gibble.
Let's tell that
Go
story
ahead.
because that's what Pokemon Go is really all about. Okay, so we are laying in bed last night. We had just went to bed. My mom was over at the house late last night, and so it's about one. It was 1 o'clock, right?
Like 115.
Yeah, like just after 1 o'clock, and we were just going to sleep. And she was finishing up some Go Battle League battles, and I had already sat my phone down and was laying there, and I was almost asleep. And she goes, "There's a Gibble at the church," and I was like, "What? No!" And I was like, "I'm not getting up. We're just gonna go to sleep." And she was like, "Okay." And then about 30 seconds later, I was like, "All right, let's go get the Gibble." Because the church is one of the closest Pokestops to our house, and it's literally like a 35-second drive. So yeah, so we threw on some sweatpants and shirts and jumped in the car and drove a minute to the church to get the Gibble that was at the Pokestop, and I was glad we went and got it because it's small enough on one of the accounts that I think it may be usable for Great League. So that'd be cool. A Great League Garchomp would be cool. But yeah, it was good.
Is
I mean,
that your
that's what
catch of the week?
that. Yeah, I don't know. Let me look. I don't think I got any shinies or anything that was worth anything this week. So
Oh,
I would say,
I got a shiny.
oh no, yeah, you had a good week.
What was my shiny I got?
The Marie,
Marie. Yeah, we were out
yeah, Team Pink.
Pokemoning. It's Team Pink, and we were out Pokemoning, and we were pulling back up to the house, and I was like, I don't ever get any shinies. And then I pulled and we pulled around the corner onto our street, and I clicked on Mareep, and I was like, ooh! It did like the little shiny thing, and it was pink, and I was like, yes.
Well, and it looked really pretty because it was snowing that day. So we were out in the snow, and that pink Marie on that snowy background looked really good. So no, I actually I would say my catch of the week was last week we had the Minchino event, and I think you guys when was the Minchino event? It was Sunday, right?
It was last weekend.
Yeah, it was right before we did
Yeah, it was
the show
Sunday.
last week. Yeah, so and I didn't have a shiny Minchino, remember? But Monday morning I hatched a shiny Minchino. So that was probably my catch of the week was the fact that I hatched a Minchino. Maybe it was Tuesday morning. Remember, it was way after the event that I hatched it.
Yeah.
So and it was the only one that I got. So I would call that. I'm looking at my Pokemon, my shiny. That I would call that my catch of the week was hatching that shiny Minchino 2 days after the event.
Do you have anything else that you want to add before we close up shop here for episode 2 of the
Now this is episode 1.
Oh,
The last one was episode 0. It
oh,
was
I
our
know how
test
that works.
episode. Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm an IT guy, so we start counting at 0. Uh, no, so this was a good week. Again, I'm traveling, so next week when I get home, we're going to constantly try to build on this, guys. So we want more interaction from anyone out there. So if anybody has any ideas of things they'd like to see, I would like to start talking about battle basics. That was an event that I ran past one of the chats, the Pokemon chats that I'm in. So if you'd like to see some battle basics, I actually would set up some videos and show you guys maybe just some basic energy management, when to use shields, uh, talking about the meta. Even I mean, I don't even know if people understand how meta works always. Um the difference in switching, when to switch, what a safe switch is, things like that. So that may be something that we do as a 10-minute section on battle basics every week. We're going to try to get this into a more rigid structure of a this week, next week kind of thing. We're always going to talk about PvP stuff to the utmost because that is our focus in this game is PvP. And because of that, it shapes all the rest of our game. I mean, it shapes how we raid because we're looking for raids where we can get charged TMs. It shapes the Pokemon we invest Stardust into, the things that we are looking to trade. So PvP is going to shape how we do this show as well. But next week we will get home and we'll work on, like I said, better segments. I'll be at home so I can control things better. I'll have more graphics popping up, more things. I got to get some sort of audio thing so that I can have sound effects interjected into this, so like burr, 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 burr. Yeah. So
So
nope.
Bryson said that he came. He just came because he heard cats were being pet.
Yeah, it's true. It's
Um, tell us about your Pokemon swagger you got on.
my Pokemon swagger. Oh, my new hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did get a new Gengar hat. It is pretty fresh. It's Bio World.
And your necklace.
So yeah, but that's not new.
Yeah, but it matches your hat.
Because yeah, I've had that for a while. Uh, yeah. So anyway, I am Knuckles, and this is episode 1 of Live at the Pokemon Refuge, and that is my beautiful wife, Kitten, on the other side of the
Yeah.
screen. So I guess we will cut this off here. We're gonna end it a little early. We started a little early, I think, earlier than we did last time. So there goes our Umbreon behind you one more time,
Yeah, she's making her
making
last.
making a final pass through in the background.
Yes.
But you guys make sure to check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/Pokemon Refuge,
Do we have an email?
Instagram.com/Pokemon Refuge, YouTube, Twitter, everywhere at Pokemon Refuge. You guys can find us anywhere.
What's our
So
email address?
email address PokemonRefuge1@gmail.com. So if you guys have any questions, comments, put them below. We will pick up a question of the week probably next week. We just wanted to continue this even though I was out of town tonight. So we wanted to make sure that we continued this weekly thing. Same bat time, same bat channel. Or let's do same Pokey time, same Pokey channel. So catch us next Sunday, 9 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on Facebook Live. I am Knuckles signing out.